Blackberries hatch, chiming up my window. Blackberries hatch, reaching with a thorn. My head though goes with the blackbird song. I must move on.
Hey everyone, I'm really excited to do this video. So 5 ways to clear and purify your energy this Samhain, and a few for good measure. So Samhain, what is that? All Hallowed Eve, Halloween. It comes in many names and many guises, and there's so many traditions in there, and I really want to kind of share with you some of the ones that I've worked with over the years, and why, and how they kind of all overlap, entwine, merge together. But for me, there is an absolute practical application to be able to kind of work with and naturally move with the energy of time and of place, and understanding where these magical practices have come from, and these ritualistic practices, where they've absolutely come from, and the folklores and the wisdom and the traditions underneath them. Okay, so last week I promised you that we would talk about brushing away, sweeping away, brushing down, and how that has associations to All Hallowed Eve, Halloween and Samhain. Okay, so if you think about it, that kind of archetypal picture of the witch and the Bissum broom, and you ask yourself, where has that come from? Where has it come from? Well, I'll approach it from many different angles, and then we'll weave together all those things that I've kind of really held value to, and the practical uses and how you can apply them. And these are kind of been accumulated and really kind of understood over the last 26 years. You know, this is something that I've journeyed with for a very, very long time, and my whole intention is to kind of share and share, which is what the channel is all about. It's about education primarily, and sharing. So let's take the Bissum broom. I've got my Bissum next to me, okay, and we think about it for a moment. Okay, you see it everywhere. Witch comes with a broom, you know, and that's absolutely good for good reason. One of the reasons is sweeping away. At this time of the year, as the nights really draw in, what is nature doing? Nature is kind of falling to sleep. Slowly and gently, the land is dropping to sleep. Everything's quietening down. What begins to happen, all the dead wood falls away. So naturally, it's for a time for us, in a way, to do the same. You've heard of that saying, to take stock. Okay, literally that was what was done. That our ancestors would have taken stock, looking at the animals that are going to survive, and those that weren't, they would have been kind of they would have been slaughtered, and they would have been butchered and prepared for the coming time, for the coming winter, for the coming darker months of the year. And it was hence to take stock. And I think that is something naturally that we should approach. That is something naturally that we should do at this time of year. You know, I have another wonderful friend of mine that would, at this time of year, go through her telephone book and look at anyone's in there that she hasn't spoken to in the last year, and she would gently remove. And I have someone else that I know that does that also on their their social media page, and it's this sense of clearing away and taking stock, making sure the energy that's there, that is engaged and it's vibrant, it's full of life. It all kind of makes sense. But what is this association to the Bissum broom? Okay, so let me grab my Bissum broom. Okay, this is not an ornament, it's a handheld one. It's a short Bissum broom, and I can still smell the oils in it that were placed in it a year ago. So every year I would take my Bissum broom, okay, and I would make up a bucket, cauldron, okay, cauldron, of lemons, cloves, rosemary, tea tree oil, and Himalayan sea salt, and I would mix it. Okay, I would mix it on normally of the morning of All Hallowed Eve. Okay, and I would mix it and allow it to kind of just all kind of come together. Then I would place it, some of the liquid, into my broom, allowing my broom to soak up that mixture, those oils, you know. Lemon juice, very cleansing, very lightening. You know, people use lemon juice and hot water in the morning to flush out their body, flush out the system. Okay, so it's really, really cleansing. Rosemary is used sometimes in sage bundles. Okay, again, very, very, very cleansing, very, very purifying. Cloves are the same. It's a natural antiseptic. It boosts the immune system. I wonder why we use cloves at this time of year in so much of our cooking. I know I use it a lot within my kitchen alchemy. Okay, so natural, again, boosting the immune system, very cleansing, very purifying, very strengthening. Then you've got tea tree oil. Well, tea tree, total antiseptic, very, very cleansing, raises the energy, kind of pushes away negativity, and also kind of germs. The same with the rosemary. That is a natural, and I know when it's burnt it raises the vibration, it really cuts through heavy energy. So I will allow the Bissum to take on that mixture. Sometimes I rest the Bissum into the cauldron, the bucket, and I have a really large cauldron that I use when we go up to the woodland to cook in, actually. But I allow the Bissum to soak up. Sometimes I will place it into the bucket and allow all that to kind of just be absorbed up the Bissum. This is a tool, okay? I will then, when I do my door cleansing ritual, which I'm going to share with you as we go forward, I will also sweep away the front door. Okay, so there's a sense of sweeping away. But why do we have the association with the Bissum broom, okay, and witches? Well, going back in time, you know, to be practicing the path of witchcraft was actually outlawed, and you've only got to look historically how many women that were killed under the Witchcraft Act going back, you know, and it was outlawed and it was illegal under the Witchcraft Act in this country to practice witchcraft. Not far from where I live, you know, I had good friends that have now moved, but good friends that lived the other side of the forest, Ashdown Forest, and there was a place, and I've been there many times, cycled over there, a place called Witch Cross, okay, Witch Cross, and Witch Cross was the last place, one of the last places in the country for a witch to be hung under the Witchcraft Act. Okay, so you know, so much of that wisdom, so much of that kind of path, and so much of those those traditions went really underground, you know, because, you know, they feared for their lives. So what they done, they disguised their magical tools. So a staff, now a staff is very similar to a wand. A wand was used for casting a circle and a magical space. So one way to disguise their tools was to actually put them into household objects, i.e. the cauldron, a cooking pot. Okay, it was a cooking pot, but it was also a pot that was used to infuse herbal remedies. Okay, also used for scrying. Fill it with water, scry into it. Then you've got the bissum. The staff of the bissum, okay, was a staff which could be used as a wand, but it was disguised into a broom, a household object. Okay, then later it went on to be able to sweep away the space, okay, from negative energy, to cleanse it before ritual and magical practice, or afterwards, okay, which we go on to explain. So as I say, this is a tool for me, and it hangs in the doorway of the space that I often work in. Okay, and then once a year it will be re-oiled. The potion, if you like, is kind of brought together to infuse back into the broom, okay, with all those ingredients, i.e. the lemons, the rosemary, the tea tree, you know, all of those essentials come together, okay, and very, very powerfully so as well. The cloves as well, using warm water, Himalayan sea salt, and actually that mixture you can actually bathe in, which we're going to touch upon. Okay, so there's the bissum broom. Okay, starts to make sense. You know, you always see, don't you, these images of witches with their bissum brooms, and you ask yourself why. Okay, so okay, at the top of my list, and these are all things that I've kind of discovered over the years, okay, is the Cauldron purification ritual. Okay, after casting a circle, you cast a circle magically. As we go forwards, I will bring some very, very short basic videos of understanding these elements if you don't. Okay, so after casting a circle and calling on the innate, okay, calling upon the innate and its protection in a way that feels right for you, okay, that feels from within you. And that's what magic is about, is aligning your thought, you know, because a thought carries energy, and when you start to bring that thought alive with energy, it becomes a living, breathing thing, which is exactly what magic is, exactly what a spell is. Okay, so calling upon it in a way that feels powerful for you, okay, calling upon the protection of the innate. Light a black candle, okay, to the goddess Morrigan, Hecate, you know, those kind of very strong, powerful energies that reside in the darker part of the year. So Morrigan, Hecate, and you know, if you look at, you've got the triple goddess, you've got the mother, maiden, crone. What we're calling upon at this time of year, Hecate, is the crone. Okay, call upon it, ask for its guidance, ask for its strength, ask for its blessings, ask for its protection. Then take a notebook and a journal, and I think notebooks and journals can absolutely be hugely powerful. Okay, and then kind of sit there and brainstorm all the qualities and all the conditions that you may want to purify and release from your life. This is a time where all the dead wood is falling away. Okay, this might include things like fears, unhealthy relationships, compulsive negative thoughts, unwanted habits. When you feel this is complete, tear out the pages, place them in your cauldron or even a bucket, okay? Place them in your cauldron or pot, okay? And safely use the candle to light them on fire. Okay, safely use the candle to light them on fire. Thank the Morrigan, Hecate, the goddess. And then after opening the circle, throw the ashes into a moving body of water. Or the other way you can do it is once you've got the bucket and those ashes are just kind of falling into the pot, is you can even flush them down the toilet. Okay, so if you can't find a moving body of water, is to flush them down the toilet and ask for them to be released. Then importantly, let that candle continue to safely burn throughout the night, okay? And what happens is, as that candle burns away, the intention is that it's gently dissolving those things that you're wishing to dissolve, those things that you're wishing to fall away. A really powerful magic here. Allow it to safely burn, and as it does, it dissolves. As it does, the energy, the magic is allowing all of that to fall away. And then just before going to sleep or ever leaving the house, extinguish the candle. And then what you can do is you can continue to burn that candle each evening as it gets dark, until the next new moon. Okay, so you've got from that time up until the next new moon to allow that just to continue to burn away. I tend to, within that evening, if you think it gets dark before 6 p.m, most definitely, probably around about 5:30, is, even if you were to go to bed at 10 or 11, you know, that's going to be a long way burnt down, if not burnt down in its entirety. Okay, so a nice ritual, a nice ceremony, that one. The next one is the Herbal Smudge. Okay, so again, cleansing. In case you don't know what smudging is, it is when you light a bundle of herbs. Now, a really special friend of mine, Elaine, she made this. It is absolutely still smelling divine. She made this, and I have a smaller one, bless her heart, that she gave me as well, which the smaller one I use personally. This is to be used within ceremony with others, and to aid and assist others. And believe me, we have held a ceremony, and another good friend of mine, it really assisted quite a shift for her. So smudge is a bundle of herbs, and it's smoking. You see, it's been burnt like incense, and then you waft it around a space, waft it around a room, an area, or even a person, to purify and fine-tune their energy. On Samhain, it's particularly appropriate to smudge with things like mugwort, sage, sweetgrass or sweetgrass braid, or even both herbs bundled up together in one. You can see there's like flower petals within this. Very light energy, very light vibration. And as I said, you know, my dear friend Elaine, she sometimes, and I'll show you, she uses Palo Santo. And there's a Palo Santo. It's very sweet, and it's known as the mystical tree that grows on the South American grows in South America. South American coast. Thank you. South American coast it grows. and it's related, really sweet, like related to mirth, okay, and kapow. And the name translates to holy wood. I'm new to using it, you know, this is something new to me, but its magic is real, you know, it's very, very light, and it's so fragrant. It's got a sweet scent of like pine, mint, and lemon, and it's been used, researching, it's been used for centuries. So there's some lavender attached to it, and it's got a crystal which amplifies its energy. There's magic just within that, just bringing those ingredients together. So yeah, it has a scent of like mint, lemon, again, lemon cleansing, mint cleansing. It's like nature does its work. It's so powerful. It's been used for centuries, and it's been a, you know, harbinger of healing and good fortune. Shamans, saints, and those that are looking for a stronger spiritual connection with the world use Palo Santo to protect, experience, and heal. Okay, the art of smudging protects from negative spirits and energies, whilst harmonizing the natural kind of portal doorway between the worlds that opens up fully on Samhain. Okay, the veil between this world and the next really opens up at Samhain. You know, the sage and the sweetgrass, the Palo Santo, all harmonizing, and only really allowing the most positive and loving of spirits and energies to be permitted to come through. So really good to do before you do any magical practice, okay? Which is why I say in, you know, the first one, you know, before casting a circle, you would smudge. You know, the practice will also generally harmonise, purify, and fine tune the more you kind of work with it. But yeah, very, very beautiful, very wonderful. And again, you can use, this is a beautiful gift again from Elaine, you can use a smudging feather just to push that smudge into the corners of the room. And the other thing is, and I dreamt this last night, someone said to me in a dream, the energy leaves the house in a clockwise direction. Those were the words that were said in a dream last night. So you want to move around your space in a clockwise direction, out then towards the door. Okay, and the door is going to make sense as we go forward sharing this. Number three. Okay, number three is very similar to what I was talking about with the Bison Broom, with the potion that was created and made. Cloves and a sea salt bath. In addition to being relaxing and a warm bath, place a few tablespoons of cloves. This is very similar to the mixture that we made for the Bison. Okay, so a few tablespoons of cloves and a cup of sea salt. Okay, you can put some lemons, some essential oil, lavender, tea tree in a bath. Okay, and sea salt, it has a highly purifying energy to it. I used to always wonder why I felt very light when I come out of the sea when I used to surf, and it's the sea salt. It breaks up and removes heavy stagnant energy, and kind of breaks through those repetitive thought forms. Once a week I will bath in this way, and Elena sent me a beautiful pouch of bath potion that I'm going to use on All Hallowed Eve. I'm waiting, I've kept it to use on All Hallowed Eve. But what it does is it just kind of lightens, you know, and I always feel psychically just cleared out and quiet. So everything becomes really quiet, everything becomes really calm. And it also kind of protects you from unsavory or negative energies. The thing I do is light enough candles in the room to kind of illuminate the room, and then I kind of jump in that bath and I sit there for at least about half an hour, 40 minutes, and just kind of allow yourself to just be held. You know, when do we really take that sort of time? It becomes very meditative, but very restoring and very renewing. And then I kind of make sure I drink plenty of water afterwards, and I make sure that I don't go anywhere. Sometimes I just kind of sit quietly afterwards, or might even just throw on the dressing gown and just watch TV and just kind of allow myself to be recharged. Number 4, cord cutting ritual. This is something I've used so often. I also use with some of my clients. So light a fire in your fireplace if you've got one, or in an outdoor fire pit. You know, take a moment to assess all those things in this last year that you would like to kind of cut cords to really free up your vibrant personal energy. Okay, you know, these things might include old relationships, so they don't have to be the last year. They could be a lifetime. They could be things that happened years ago. Okay, these things might include old relationships, old responsibilities that have become, and that's what I work with, is old contracts that have been made that you've held yourself to that are no longer healthy or right. Okay, so responsibilities, contracts, beliefs or habits. For each one, this is really important, for each one, tie a single piece of embroidery thread or cotton around a red pillar candle with a knot. Okay, then with great certainty, focus, snip them all away with a sharp pair of scissors. Cast the old cords into the fire and watch them burn. Then light your candle as a symbol and representation representation of your calm. I wonder what all that's about. Of your calm, I understand, I got it. Of your calm, vibrant, and unhampered, bogged down personal power. So what was that about, being tongue-tied? Reputation. Your view, someone there that's listening, your view of what you feel others think of you, you know, the belief that you have with the way that you feel you're seen. Okay, that's for somebody there. So you light that candle as a symbol of your representation of your calm, vibrant personal power, and let it burn throughout the night. Okay, again, extinguish before bed, always make sure it's safe, and light again at intervals until the next full moon, until that candle is burnt down. Okay, the binding around the candle and then snipping it is such a powerful act. You know, so you want to always align yourself, do it calmly, do it with purpose, do it consciously, do it with intent. Okay, number 5, this is where my sage and my Bissam come in. Like at sunset, okay, it's a threshold between day and night, and I'll talk about that sometimes, where day turns to night. It's a powerful gateway. The same is with Samhain. It's a time when the weather is rapidly shifting. The other night I went out and it was a frost. I was like, wow, I celebrated that. First frost that I've experienced at night. It's shifting into the winter like half of the year. It's also the end of a harvest cycle and the beginning of a new one. And I know that from working with Dad on our Fridays over at his woodland. You know, we're already making preparation for the coming growing cycle. Okay, so it's the beginning of a new one. So actually for us that follow the old ways, it's the beginning of a new year in a way. Okay, and you draw upon this threshold energy by cleansing your physical door, so your front door, okay, as a symbol of clearing away anything that might be holding you back, okay. What I tend to do is get the bucket again, fill it with some warm water, some lemons, some rosemary, some cloves, some tea tree oil, some Himalayan sea salt, maybe a cup of Himalayan sea salt, 3 drops of tea tree oil, 2 tablespoons of cloves, 3 lemons squeezed and thrown in. Allow it all to kind of be mixed, some rosemary, and then using a rag, wash your front door from the inside first, really important. So you're cleansing from the inside out, okay? And as you do, say or think, I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. As you clean, so clean the top bit, I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. Middle, clearing the way for my positivity to flow. And you're always almost gesturing, you're gesturing that energy to kind of move outside. I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. And it's got a chant in there, you can hear it. I'm clearing the way for my positivity to flow. Okay, it has an energy to it. And then the outside the same. And then I get my besom and I sweep it all away, out with cobwebs and stuff, leaves, all that kind of energy. And then I smudge the house from top to bottom, okay, clearing and allowing it, and then I kind of just waft it with the feather fan, moving it outside the front door. Really, really powerful one to do, which is why I anoint the besom with the same mixture, but I do fresh ones, okay. It's all about giving each kind of practice, each aspect in its own right, okay. Really beautiful one, this one. So this video is more of a workshop than a video, but this one I really love. Connect with a deceased loved one, and I really want to emphasize here, loved ones are only ever thought away, okay. This time of year, naturally people have more psychic experiences just seem to jump and spike, and I think that is really because the nights are drawing in, people become more internalized, everything begins to slow down, so you become more aware of the subtleties and the worlds around you and all of the unseen, because spirit absolutely dwell in the unseen and the subtlety. I'll put links in within this video that can kind of really support what I'm saying there. Ingredients and things that you would need for this one. A framed picture of a loved one, or even an animal, somebody that you've lost, that you hold really dear, and it can be an animal, it can be a person, it can be people, okay. A white candle, plus some matches or a lighter, of course, a sweetgrass braid, sage stick, Palo Santo, with a plate for catching burning embers, okay, really important. So in addition to protecting yourself from those kind of heavy energies and those negative energies and those kind of energies that kind of move around, the sage and the sweetgrass smoke creates a doorway of light, okay. So you almost like want to see that you're creating that doorway of light, allowing positive and loved ones to kind of move through. Again, that Palo Santo is incredibly light. It's known as the holy wood. You kind of light the sage or the braid or the Palo Santo, and it starts smoking like incense. You carry the plate beneath it and smudge the entire room that you're sitting in. Again, moving in a clockwise direction. Then safely extinguish it by running under cold water or sealing it in a large jar, and it will go out. So some of these traditions of this night, okay? Importantly, we remember those who have come before us. I traditionally lay a place. A place would be set at the table for those we have loved and lost, or even a photo and a candle lit, okay, so the white candle. Then a story or a memory is shared of that person's life. Laying an extra place at the table for your loved ones. You could even go on to light 3 white candles. That's something else that I've done. Scatter some rose petals. Dress the table with seasonal fare and food. Pumpkin soup, pumpkin bread, dark ale. Gather the family together and around the table say a prayer. Let it come from within you, and then invite all those present to share a story of your departed loved one whilst eating and sharing. And there on the table you can have those rose petals, energy of love. You can have that photo, inviting them in, and you can have those candles, allowing the light to touch them. Okay, within this video, as I say, I will place some links that can be beneficial. Beautiful one that I've encouraged people to do, that have lost, are in a journey of healing and a journey of grief. It can be a really powerful way of feeling that you're connecting with those that you've loved and lost. So 2 more. Pumpkin spell. Okay, it's really powerful one, this one. Gather your pumpkin, cut the top off, scoop it out, use all of that for your soup, okay, or within your pumpkin bread. You'll see within some of my posts there's a recipe for pumpkin bread. I will put links into the video. Cut the top off of the pumpkin, clear it out, which in a way is allowing energy and vibrancy and abundance to flow towards you. Clean out the pumpkin and save the seeds, okay? Save the seeds. And what you want is 7 seeds for this spell, okay? This ritual. Place the pumpkin in the refrigerator until All Hallowed Eve, okay? Then on All Hallowed Eve is you want to hold 7 seeds in one hand, take one out of the hand, place it into the right hand, okay? And you almost want to say to yourself, I'm just holding it until the seed grows warm, until you feel good inside, okay? And then you're almost saying 1 seed for beginnings, 1 seed for drawing, 1 seed for growth, 1 seed for stability, 1 seed for banishing negativity, and 1 seed for luck, and 1 seed to seal the spell. Then outside you would repeat that, okay? You take your seed one by one and you say 1 seed for beginnings, and you would cast them into the east, okay? You just literally hold it, draw life into it, and 1 seed for beginnings and cast it into the east. 1 seed for drawing, hold it, fill it, allow that warmth, and cast it into the east. 1 seed for growth, 1 seed for stability, 1 seed for banishing negativity, 1 seed for luck, 1 to seal the spell. Okay, and you allow it to just move and take hold, and for those intentions to be placed out there. Good friend, also Elaine, talked about leaves, and the same thing can be done within leaves, just letting the leaf be taken. And I think that's quite a beautiful one. That's probably a nice one to do with children as well, is to write a wishing leaf, and allow the autumn wind to take the leaf. I'm going to the woodland and find a wishing leaf, and to get them to maybe write or draw or place an intention into the leaf, and just allow the wishing leaf to be taken away. It's kind of quite a nice thing to do. So a good thing to do before hand is to journal and get a sense of what it is you wish to grow and solidify in your life, which then aligns your intent even more. And then once you kind of complete the ceremony, you kind of cast those seeds off into the east, so mote it be, and then bury the pumpkin somewhere within your property the following night. Okay, normally 1.5 hours before midnight, okay, no later. And then what happens, the earth absorbs the pumpkin, okay, and it kind of absorbs all the energy, and just allows that to be in a way kind of transmuted and recycled. It kind of seals the intent, seals the spell. Last one, okay, gain insight and wisdom. Okay, this is again right up my street, of course. Remember, all these things are something that I've kind of experimented or explored over the years. You know, Samhain, All Hallowed Eve, is famous for allowing us to clearly see things that are often in the unseen, mysterious, or even invisible, if you like. For those that walk the path, they become transparent. Naturally, this makes it a particular powerful time for divination, for divining, for scrying, to seeing beneath the worlds. So what you would need is a quartz crystal or white candle, a tarot deck or an oracle deck, or even runes. And you would empower the quartz crystal, okay, in the light of the moon. Okay, so you would empower that quartz crystal in the light of the moon, then place it next to a candle on the table, light the candle, call on the divine in a way that feels powerful for you, and bring to mind a situation that you'd like to gain wisdom about. Okay, so bring to mind a situation that you'd like to bring wisdom about, and then from your heart ask for guidance and insight. Shuffle your deck. Okay, so I work with the side cards. Shuffle your deck, and you can cut your deck twice. Okay, and then you would take off the top 5 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then the first card, okay, would be what's needed to be done. Okay, so your first card would be what's needed to be done. Stars card I've drawn, very interesting. It's about believing in your dreams, knowing your dreams can become a reality, and continue to move towards alignment. Okay, stay aligned, stay true to your values. Much there. Okay, then the next card would be the challenge or the problem. Okay, the challenge or problem. This is the moon card. Okay, challenge or problem. What could be this? What could it be? It's feeling, it's emotion, it's the moon. We've been talking about magic, the moon. It may be saying that you're not always trusting your feelings. Well, for me, that is a very important part of what I do within life. Maybe sometimes it can be overwhelming. You know, you can kind of be just exposed to so much feeling, which would make sense. And it's very important for your self-care. Okay, so your rituals for recharging and cleansing, because you're immersed in lots of emotion, and you've got water there, which in a way stimulates that feeling for me. So making sense. And I think that you can read for yourself in this way, but it takes discernment and a level of being really honest with yourself. So challenge card, problem card. Then you've got the solution card. Okay, so this would be your solution card. So you want to take a solution card. For me, this is a tree. Solution is stand tall, root myself, ground myself. Okay, which I always say, which is why I do the adventuring, because in a way it grounds me, brings me back to myself, and allows me to continue to grow. So being reinforced as the winter comes, to look after myself, which makes complete sense. For those of you who know me well, you'll know that, yeah, I've had, you know, challenges that I've absolutely worked with all the time, and I overcome physically with the ankylosing spondylitis, the AS. Let's have a look here. What needs to be done? Challenge, problem, solution, outcome. Okay, pieces of the jigsaw come together. Remember, you're going to be turning your own cards. So turn your own cards. Okay, 5 cards, turn them, and ask yourself what needs to be done. Challenge a problem, solution card, outcome. Okay, outcome is all the pieces come together, the puzzle. Key card, work. Life is about working with it, moving with it, committing, engaging it, working hard. And you know, I really get a sense of, for me, that my own journey is becoming deeper and in many ways kind of enriching, and it's all the hard work over many years, in a way, all coming together. So it's a beautiful time. You know, work with those cards. You know, as I say, it's the 5 cards. There's going to be a link within this video to give you an insight to the 5 card system as well, and also there will be a link to the blog on this post, which has got many of the links in. That might be the way that I do it, is that I link you to the blog, and then you can find all the links from the blog. Hope you've enjoyed that. One of the videos that I'll put in there as well is about asking the cards the right question. Okay, so it's all about asking the right question, but that's also a really lovely thing to do. Love to hear your thoughts, love to hear if you go and do any of those rituals, those magical practices, how you get on. I love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your thoughts on the video as well. As promised, I'd share it with you. It's a little bit longer than normal because in a way, for me, it is kind of like a workshop rather than just a video, but it's something you can dip in and dip out of, but it'll be there, and it's something that you can work with and grow and evolve with over time. But I'm wishing you all the most beautiful All Hallowed Eve. Those of you that are going to be joining me on my live event, I'm really looking forward to that. And those of you that have asked about future ones, you can find there are places available for Easter event. All Hallowed Eve has kind of filled out, it's sold out, so is Yule now, but we have a tarot workshop in January, and I have a rune experience and like workshop in February, and we still have places on the tarot workshop, and we still have places on the rune experience and workshop. Places are £10 per person, and you'll be invited into a closed group via our social media on before the event, but for the evening. Wishing you all the most beautiful All Hallowed Eve. As always, it's just a real honour and privilege to share, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. Blessings, guys. Speak soon. Bye bye.